All right. Let's talk some Ravens. You want to talk some Ravens? Do you want to talk some Ravens?
Sure.
Do you want to talk some Ravens?
Sure.
Let's talk some Ravens.
Let's do it.
All right. You want to start with some Zach Ertz? What you got on the Zach Ertz, B?
Yeah, so there's a report out there that several teams have contacted Philadelphia to acquire Zach Ertz via trade, and that a deal may be going down in the next couple of days. That's a guy who Baltimore has previously shown interest in. He's only 30 years old. He's coming off a kind of an injury-riddled season. So he didn't put up great numbers. He didn't play the full year. And I believe his cap hit for this season is over $12 million, but he doesn't have any guaranteed money. So I'm sure that they will be able to, work around that. And, I don't think Zach Ertz is going to cost you anything more than a day 3 pick.
Yeah.
I think he's still got a lot left. Like I said, he's only 30 years old. He, in 2019, he was one of the top tight ends in the league. And, we all know that Baltimore really missed Hayden Hurst this year because they didn't bother to replace him. And acquiring Zach Ertz would put Nick Boyle back in that third tight end spot where he belongs.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to Boyle.
He's
blocking is probably the majority of his game, so he does not. He shouldn't be, as part of the pass game.
I agree, and he's great in that role, and he's a crucial part of that offense. But yes, that's the ideal spot for him, and bringing in another a pass catching tight end is ideal, and we can get him for cheap. So no, I agree with that, and they agree with that too because they were going to trade with Philly for him. That week we heard him in that Philly game. So yes, let's revisit that. There's a lot of things that they say we were going to do that we could still do, and I want them to revisit. Zach Ertz is one of them. Adam Thielen's another one. If you were inquiring about Adam Thielen, guess what? He's still available.
Yeah,
running back. So yes, Zach Ertz, that's a go for me. All right, y'all, let us know what you think about Zach Ertz. Right now, we approve that trade if it happens.
Yeah, assuming they do something with his contract, either a pay cut or an extension to get his number down.
And I can see that happening. I can absolutely see that happening. Speaking of extensions, look, not much more going on the Lamar Jackson front, but we're going to bring it up because it's the offseason. We talked about it a little bit on our live show. What do you think Lamar Jackson's worth this? Yeah, man, I think whatever he asked for, it depends on, what you're adding to the team. I think for Lamar, if they do a good job building the O-line or at least showing that you're intending on really adding some weapons around him, I think he's comfortable enough to say, okay, I trust you guys. And all right, I'm not gonna ask for 40 million, maybe like 38 or something like that. They could work something out. But if they don't put anything into this offense and you're just saying at least, at face value, hey, we're sticking behind our coaching staff, nah, you can go ahead and pay me, or we can just wait.
Yeah, for me, with the quarterback position, I say just take the money because if they don't do what they need to do in terms of fixing the O-line and putting weapons around him, and he gets to the point where he's really, really unhappy in Baltimore, he can force his way out, regardless of what his contract is.
That's true.
So, go ahead and go in there. And I think Baltimore has earned a little good faith, and say, okay, yeah, I trust that you'll get it done. So let's talk about this contract, take the money. And if they don't do their job, then, you can deal with that later.
But yeah, that's the thing right there. I think both sides want to get it done. I think the trust level on each side is high, right? Yeah. That happens when you're winning. So I don't think it's going to be a lot of drama behind this. They'll probably get the extension done this year, to be honest.
Yeah. So Baltimore should really, really be pushing to get this done right now because the longer you wait, the more it's going to cost.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you wait one more year, it's going to cost you some money. You saw Lamar's floor this season, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. That's his floor. He's not going to do worse than that. Barring injury, like it's probably going to be for his career. You're not going to see worse numbers than that. that's about as bad as he's going to play. So, yeah, I think he's going to come back this year and just really put up those MVP type of numbers again. So, yeah, it'll be in your best interest to get the deal done now.
Yeah. And listen, we just talked about Zach Ertz, and, we've been kind of banging the wide receiver drum since this channel started. If you go out and you trade for Zach Ertz and you sign Corey Davis, I'm going to give that a positive review for the offseason, or for the free agency portion of the offseason at least.
Yeah. Edge rushers, yes. That's another point of concern for the Ravens community. What are we going to do at edge rusher? We got Yannick Ngakoue. We got Matt Judon, who are both free agents. Doesn't look like we're going to re-sign either one. You got Pernell McPhee saying he wants to come back. You have Tyus Bowser, who's a free agent that we would like to have back.
Yeah.
We got Sack Daddy, who's still under contract. Jalen Ferguson, Jay Ferg, right?
Yeah.
So what's the situation there? What are we going to do to fix that situation?
Well, first off, kudos to Baltimore for letting Judon and Ngakoue walk. That's the talk, at least.
That's the talk.
I thought that they would.
That's the talk for Judon. You haven't really heard that about Yannick.
Well, no, I mean, there was a report that they're not planning on bringing back either one. So if that turns out to be true, like I said, kudos to Baltimore. You don't need to pay either one of those guys. What you do need to do is get Tyus Bowser under contract. And, you can bring back, I'm not sure if they've actually officially re-signed Jihad Ward yet, but bring back Jihad Ward. You can even bring back McPhee and then, hit edge rusher either late on day 2 or day 3, and even draft a couple and just develop those guys like Baltimore's been known to do. Because the thing is, they develop offensive linemen in Baltimore. They develop D linemen in Baltimore. They develop edge rushers. They develop corners. They do not develop wide receivers. So don't roll out there at pick 27 and take an edge rusher when you could get that guy on the next day and coach him up essentially.
Yeah. Another player, talking on the defensive side, in the safety, another player that's been linked to Baltimore is what's his name?
Malik Hooker.
Malik Hooker. I was going to say Malik Harrison. It wasn't Malik Harrison. That's our linebacker. Malik Hooker. Yeah, Malik Hooker. Look, I like Malik Hooker. I mean, he's been hurt a lot, but I think he's a skilled player. And again, that's one of those moves where, yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't think he'll cost a whole lot of money as long as we take care of what we need to take care of on the offensive side. But just bringing him in general, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be a fairly cheap addition, considering he has spent most of his career injured. But when he's healthy, I mean, I think he's a playmaker. I think that would be a really good signing for Baltimore. Like he said, assuming they get everything else done that they absolutely need to do.
Yeah.
Safety depth is a bit of an issue. They don't really have anybody behind Clark and Elliott. So going out and getting Malik Hooker for cheap would be a big plus, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But all this talk on the defensive side, you already know how we feel over here, okay? It's hashtag defund the defense. None of these needs are major needs. I mean, do we need edge rushers? I mean, yes. I mean, we need some players on the roster, right? We don't need to bolster that position. I mean, there'll be players out there in free agency that we can get to come in here and play a solid role, or there'll be guys that we get in the draft that can come in here and fill that role just fine. The defense is going to be fine, whoever we bring in at those positions. Interior D-line, because we discussed Brandon Williams, the possibility of cutting him, and there's some concerns there because every time he doesn't play, we don't stop the run. And I would argue that we drafted Madubuike, we brought in Calais Campbell, we drafted Broderick Washington, and they just need to start getting it done without Brandon Williams. And I love Brandon Williams, don't get me wrong, but I'm looking at the cap number being low. How can we open up some more cap space to sign what we need to sign on the offense? Because what I'm tired of hearing here is we don't have the money. Get the money. Get the money. If you got to take from the defense, do what you got to do. Defense ain't going to win us a championship. Offense will.
Yeah. They also just re-signed Justin Ellis on that D-line.
Yes. Yeah.
The thing is, we hear a lot of, whenever we talk about bringing in Allen Robinson or Kenny Golladay or even Corey Davis, you hear a lot of, we got to give Prochet and Duvernay a chance. And, Boykin hasn't had much of a chance. Well, listen, nobody stopped them from getting on the field and producing. Nobody. There was nobody ahead of them. Nobody kept those guys on the bench. Nobody stopped them from making plays. And you know what? Bringing in Allen Robinson won't stop it either. They're not getting cut. They'll still be there. If they've got the talent and they go out and they improve, they up their game and they're able to make plays, you'll see it on the field next year. But Baltimore needs somebody who they know can produce for them.
Yeah.
Somebody they know that they can trust. Lamar doesn't trust those guys, and why would he?
Yeah.
None of them have performed.
Absolutely. And if you're saying that, if you're one of those people saying, hey, we drafted Prochet, we drafted Duvernay, we got Miles Boykin, they just need more opportunities and they'll be fine, apply that same logic to the defense. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. We drafted Matabike. Trusted Matabike. Matabike had a very good college career, right? He was a very good prospect coming out of college, and we got him. He played solid. Like you see more on tape from Matabike than you see James Prochet and Devin Duvernay. So put your faith in Matabike and say, hey, look, he's going to get better. Look, just like those other guys, he didn't have a training camp. Right. He didn't have an off season. Give him a chance and let him play.